Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that might seem boring at first, but trust me, it's absolutely fascinating once you understand how it works. We're talking about electrical circuit breakers. You know, those little switches in your breaker box that keep your entire house safe from electrical fires and damage. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why these devices are heroes in your home. Let's start with a question that I want you to think about. When was the last time you plugged in too many things at once and your lights went out? Maybe you were blow drying your hair, running the microwave, and charging your laptop all on the same outlet. Something flipped, right? That something was your circuit breaker doing its job. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Circuit breakers are actually protecting you from something really dangerous. We're talking about electrical fires that could destroy your home and hurt you or your family. Now, to understand how a circuit breaker works, we first need to understand what electricity actually is and how it flows through your home. Think of electricity like water flowing through pipes. It wants to go from point A to point B, following the path of least resistance. In your home, that path is designed by an electrical engineer. There's a positive side, called the hot wire, a neutral wire that completes the circuit, and a ground wire that's there as backup protection. This whole system works beautifully when everything is balanced and controlled. But here's where things get dangerous. When you overload a circuit by plugging in too many appliances, something starts to go wrong. The electrical current, which is measured in amperes or amps, starts to increase way beyond what the wires can safely handle. Those wires in your walls are designed to carry a specific amount of current. Let's say your bedroom circuit is rated for 15 amps. That's 15 amps of electrical current flowing through the wires. If you suddenly try to push 20 amps through those same wires, they start to heat up. And I mean really heat up. Like hot enough to melt the plastic insulation around them. This is where the circuit breaker comes in like a superhero. Inside that little switch on your breaker panel, there's an amazing piece of engineering that constantly monitors the current flowing through. If the current exceeds the safe limit, the breaker trips and stops the electricity from flowing. It literally saves your house from catching fire. Pretty incredible, right? So let me ask you this, and I really want you to pause the video right now and think about this, or answer in the comments. Here's question number 1. What do you think would happen if circuit breakers didn't exist? Pause and think about that for a moment. What would happen to your home if there was nothing stopping dangerous levels of electricity from flowing through your walls? Really think about it. Okay, welcome back. Let's dig deeper into how the breaker actually works mechanically. Inside that plastic box, there are several components working together in harmony. First, there's a bimetallic strip. This is a strip of two different metals bonded together, usually copper and brass. These metals expand at different rates when they heat up. When too much current flows through and heats up that bimetallic strip, it bends. And when it bends far enough, it triggers a mechanical latch that trips the breaker open. It's like a spring-loaded door that opens when it gets too hot. But wait, there's more. Circuit breakers actually have two ways of protecting you. The first is the thermal method I just described, which responds to heat from overloaded currents over time. The second method is magnetic protection, and it's incredibly fast. Inside the breaker, there's also an electromagnet. When current spikes suddenly and dramatically, like if you accidentally touch a live wire, that electromagnet becomes super powerful and instantly snaps open the switch. We're talking milliseconds here. This magnetic protection catches short circuits before they can cause any real damage. Now I want to ask you question number 2. Pause the video and answer this in the comments. Do you think the bimetallic strip and the electromagnet work together, or do they work separately? Which one do you think protects you from short circuits, and which one protects you from overloads? This is important stuff, and I'd love to see what you think in the comments below. Let's talk about what actually happens when you flip that breaker back on after it trips. A lot of people just walk up to their breaker box and immediately switch it back. But here's the thing you need to know. If a breaker keeps tripping, there's a reason. You can't just keep flipping it back on and hoping for the best. That's actually really dangerous. If you've overloaded the circuit, you need to unplug some devices and redistribute them to other circuits. Your house has multiple circuits for a reason, and they're designed to split the electrical load. But here's something even more important to understand. Modern circuit breakers in homes typically come in 15, 20, or 30 amp ratings. Your bedroom might be 15 amps, your kitchen might be 20 amps, and your large appliances like your water heater or air conditioner might be 30 amps or even higher. These ratings aren't random. They're calculated based on the wire gauge, which is the thickness of the copper wire. Thicker wires can handle more current without overheating. Thinner wires need lower amp ratings. It's all about matching the breaker capacity to the wire capacity. Now here's something that really blows people's minds. If someone in your home had a really old electrical panel, they might have something called a fuse instead of a circuit breaker. Fuses work on a similar principle, but in a different way. Instead of a mechanical switch, a fuse has a metal filament inside. When too much current flows, the filament melts and breaks the circuit. The problem is, after it melts, you have to replace the entire fuse. With circuit breakers, you just flip the switch back. But more importantly, fuses are slower to respond than modern breakers. They don't have that magnetic protection we talked about. That's why most modern homes have switched to circuit breakers. Let me ask you question number 3 right now, and I want you to really think about this one. Pause the video and answer in the comments. Why do you think modern homes use circuit breakers instead of fuses? What advantages do you think circuit breakers have? This is a great question that really shows you understand the engineering behind electrical safety. Now let's talk about ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. You've probably seen these in your bathroom or kitchen. They're those outlets with the little reset and test buttons. GFCIs are even more sophisticated than regular circuit breakers. They detect when electricity is leaking from the circuit to the ground, usually through water or a person. If you're standing in your wet bathroom and you accidentally touch a live wire, a GFCI can detect that current is flowing through your body and shut off power in about 1/100th of a second. That's literally 1,000 times faster than a regular breaker. GFCIs save lives every single year by preventing electrocution in wet environments. There's also something called an arc fault circuit interrupter, or AFCI. These are newer, and they detect when there's an electrical arc, which is when electricity jumps across a gap. Arcs are actually one of the leading causes of electrical fires. A loose connection might not trigger a regular breaker, but it can create an arc that gets hotter than the surface of the sun. An AFCI detects these arcs and trips almost instantly. Building codes now require AFCIs in bedrooms and living areas because they're so good at preventing fires. Here's something that might surprise you. Not all circuit breakers are created equal. There are different types designed for different situations. Standard breakers are what we've been talking about. But there are also double pole breakers that protect circuits that need 240 volts instead of 120 volts. These are for your large appliances. Then there are specialty breakers designed for specific purposes. Some are designed to be more sensitive. Some are designed to handle higher temperatures. And some are designed specifically for solar panels or other alternative energy sources. Let me give you a real-world scenario to help this all make sense. Imagine your kitchen circuit is rated for 20 amps. You plug in your coffee maker, which uses 8 amps, your toaster, which uses 10 amps, and your microwave, which uses 12 amps. That's 30 amps total trying to flow through a 20 amp circuit. The wires start heating up. The bimetallic strip inside the breaker heats up too. After a few seconds of overload, the strip bends enough to trigger the mechanical latch. Click. The breaker trips. The power shuts off. Your appliances stop working, but your house is safe. You unplug the microwave, flip the breaker back on, and everything works again. Now here's question number 4. Pause the video and answer this in the comments. In my scenario, I said the coffee maker uses 8 amps, the toaster uses 10, and the microwave uses 12. Why do you think different appliances use different amounts of current? What determines how many amps an appliance needs? Really think about the physics here. What's different about these appliances? One more thing you need to understand about circuit breakers is the concept of breaker coordination. In a typical home, you have a main breaker that's usually rated much higher than individual breakers. maybe 150 or 200 amps. This main breaker protects the entire house. Then you have individual breakers protecting individual circuits. If something goes really wrong, the main breaker will trip. But ideally, the individual circuit breaker should trip first, protecting just that one circuit, instead of shutting off the whole house. The breakers are designed and rated so that this happens automatically. The lower rated breaker trips first, and the higher rated breaker is there as a backup. Let's also talk about what happens when someone tries to defeat a circuit breaker system. Because yes, some people actually do this, and it's incredibly dangerous. I've heard stories of people who keep having the same breaker trip, so they put a penny behind the breaker to hold it closed. Or they wrap a rubber band around the trip switch so it can't move. Or they replace a 15 amp breaker with a 20 amp or 30 amp breaker to stop the tripping. This is absolutely insane. You're literally removing the one thing protecting your house from burning down. If a breaker keeps tripping, there's a reason. Either the circuit is genuinely overloaded, or there's a fault in the wiring. Either way, you need to fix the actual problem, not disable the safety system. Here's your fifth and final question, and this is an important one. Pause the video right now and answer in the comments. Why do you think it's so dangerous to defeat a circuit breaker, like putting a penny behind it or replacing a breaker with a higher amp rating? What could actually happen to your house and your family if you did this? I really want to see your answers on this one. Let's talk about the future of circuit breaker technology for a moment. Engineers are constantly working on making breakers smarter and faster. Some new breakers can communicate wirelessly with a home automation system. Imagine a breaker that doesn't just turn off the power, but also sends you a notification on your phone telling you exactly which circuit overloaded and why. Some smart breakers can even be controlled remotely. In the future, your breaker might be able to automatically reroute power or adjust load distribution. Pretty cool, right? There's also been a lot of research into arc fault detection over the past couple of decades, and we're getting really good at it. AFCIs used to be pretty sensitive and would sometimes trip for legitimate reasons. But newer versions can distinguish between normal arcing that happens in some appliances and dangerous arcing that happens in faulty wiring. This means fewer nuisance trips and better protection. So let's bring this all together. Circuit breakers are one of those unsung heroes that keep your home safe every single day. They're simple in concept, but elegant in execution. They protect you from electrical overloads through a bimetallic strip that heats up and triggers a mechanical switch. They protect you from short circuits through an electromagnet that responds instantly. They work continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without you having to think about it. And when they do their job and trip, they're actually saving your house from potential fire and destruction. The next time you walk past your electrical panel, take a moment to appreciate the incredible engineering that went into those little switches. And if a breaker ever trips, don't just flip it back on. Think about why it tripped. Is something overloaded? Is there a fault? Take the time to understand what's happening in your home's electrical system. It might be one of the most important safety systems you own. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new about how circuit breakers work and why they're so important. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content about how everyday things work. And don't forget to leave your answers to those 5 questions in the comments. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.